everyone. I hope you can hear me. It's so great to be here. Thank you so much for organizing such a great festival, and I'm really pleased to be here and honored to be here. So today we are going to talk about a little bit more about media literacy. Let me say about a few more words about myself. I'm Giorgi Jangiani, running the Consortium of Strengthening Resilience Building, and part of our job is to build better community in Georgia, strengthen the resilience. Let's start with talk about the media literacy. And first thing what I want to start with is asking the questions, because asking the question is the right way to approach things. What do you think, and I want to refer to my audience right now, what do you think how many mobile phones do we have in Georgia? And here's a tip for you. There's 3.5 million Georgians in Georgia, 3.5. Yep. That's a great guess. I don't know how did you get that one, but that's a great guess. It's a 5.5 million mobile phones we have in Georgia, while there's only 3.5 million consumers, citizens of Georgia. These are great numbers to keep you in mind, and we're going to come back why it's important. Second data, what we need to remember when we talk about starting the media literacy programs is I want to draw your attention on this graph, which shows us internet users comparing with the population. And if you see on Eastern Europe, where we are belonging, it's 82%. Which is a great number, and there's growing number. It's growing every year. Another data, what I think is important when we're starting about the media literacy is thinking about social media consumption and comparing the social media consumption with population. This is great graph from the same company, Hootsuite, which provides the brief "We Are Social," and that's the data from there. And we see that 65% of these regional population are well presented in social media. But this is quite impressive numbers when we're starting thinking about the media literacy projects. However, I want to dig you more into the Georgian consumption and see where the Georgian consumers are getting the information. How do they get the information from that way? And if we see this graph, this is from NDI's recent research. In Georgia, we see information consumption from the TV to internet is changing. And we see the TV consumption is decreasing. In the green line, you can see that it's decreasing starting from 2014, while we have a huge uprise on internet-based consumption from 7% to 35%. And I think it's going to grow more in next year. And one more graph, what I also present here shows us breaking this information, what people are using for their source of information, breaking it into the generations. And average Georgian population is 38 years old. And if you look at the graph on the second side, from 18 to 34, this is the young generation, change makers. That are the people who are preferring the internet. 62% consume the internet to get the first information for them. That is important. And the second one is generation which is 35 to 54. This is a professionals who are already well established. They also getting there, 35%. And we see the rising number of consuming the internet-based information. What I want to dig from here is if we see the internet consumption is rising, let's see the overall market, how it's look like, and what's the growing perspective. And we see in Georgia, this is 2.74 million consumer of internet. While there's 3.5 million population, this is 68% of consumers who are well presented in the internet. And here is the interesting data. You remember asking about the phones, and it's important because if you see the last picture in the yellow, we see most of social media traffic is generated. 96% is generated by phones. So people generally using the phones to reach social media. And that is the key area when we think about the media literacy, how to target, how to act with that one. However, let's go too deep in that one and see if we start talking about the social media, where are the people generally using social media? And we have a beautiful graph from Napoleon Cat, which tells us that Georgians using Facebook mainly, and we had almost 4 million active accounts we have on Facebook. This is an important number. However, there is something to dig more there. You will ask the questions how comes 68% of Georgian population has the internet and there's almost 3.4 million consumers. And I will say there is some unauthentic use of Facebook accounts. We definitely have the trouble with that one. However, this is a different topic of research. What I want you to draw your attention is we see that like Georgians are increasingly represented in social media. We see that like Instagram in recent years is increasing in Georgia. We have 1.5 million Instagram consumers. Same happens with Messenger and the LinkedIn, which is becoming extremely popular. And the generation, what I want you to draw attention, what we had the like change makers from 18 to 24 and from 24 to 34 and 44, these are the like our target audience where we are mainly doing the projects, and that is well presented in social media, which is a large cluster, the largest cluster. And the Facebook, we have these consumers. Interestingly, the women are more presented on Facebook than men. However, rising digital consumption and digital news consumption does not really transfer into critical engagement and critical understanding of the like news. And we're getting the like perfect storm for disinformation. Unfortunately, while we are consuming more, we also don't have the like strong editorial policy on the social media. We know that one, and it's not possible. We are not authoritarian country. We're not going to do that one. However, there's like two other things what I want to draw your attention, which is firstly, Georgians media is not well presented in social media. And the second one, Georgians, as well as like on Eastern Europe, in a regional perspective, trust toward the media is decreasing. That means that like we have more demand on the news, which is not generated on trustworthy sources. Here, I want to like make the like, draw the, like your attention toward the like media literacy and why we are thinking about the media literacy. And while we cannot stop the like supply of disinformation, because modern disinformation as well as like information system is working in a way we have more suppliers. We each of us create the like information. Each of us provide the more information. We cannot sustain the like editorial policy. We did not manage to ask them, demand them like trustworthy source or fact checking for them when you're providing the information. However, we can focus on consumers. We can focus on us individuals when we can get the like information, check more, understand more, and that's why the like media literacy matters. It's a human-centered, and it provides like more answers. But this became the like broad topic in the last year, and I want to like define what is a media literacy from our understanding. Then, and that's the best definition. What I found, it's ability to identify, assess, analyze, interpret, create, reflect any type of media information. However, I put it in the bold, create. That is sometimes left out, which is really important. Why is it important? Because we are not only information consumers, we are also generators. We are information generators in small groups of our friends, our family, but also using social media, we are influencers, we are influencing other people. And when we generate the information, this is important to play our authentic role in the community. We need to have the opinion and we need to engage with opinion. So we create the like content. From here, what I think is important when we move to the like media literacy part, I think that like there's just three different branches we need to focus on that one. And in my mind, this is like three more important branches. First one is wider available media literacy. Second one is fact-checking processes. And the third one is media education. And I developed the like 13 criteria for each part. So if you do the like project in this field, what I think you should focus on would be that firstly, when you talk about the media literacy wider education, think about the like multi-stakeholder engagement. Think about to engage from teachers to local self-government, from educators to CSO representatives, young generation to women to elderly population. More stakeholders you engage with that one, that brings the like better results. Second one is always focus on connecting business to the media, because that is like provide the sustainability of this kind of programs. Third one is like creating the tools for the trainings, because our key role is to engage wider community and to raise the community media literate. So we need the like training tools. And the last one is the like, I truly believe that like if you provide the training and it has a low cost, it could reach a like wider audience. That's the only way we can do that. Second one is like fact-checking process. Fact-checking process is key and crucial. Sometimes they underestimate the like importance of fact-checking because it has a lower impact. But fact-checking is like the key area to mitigate the impact of malign influence. That's the only way you can deal with, especially like foreign malign influence and disinformation spread intentionally. And they should take it down. So improve the like scraping process, improving the like their tools to manage to catch as much as they can and take it down as fast as they can. That will be the better project. Second one is better communication, their results, because fact-checking struggles with communicating their results. Sometimes the articles are not the best way to communicate this. Sometimes we need to improve this one. So projects seeing in this field would be great. And one more thing, cooperation with academia. It is sometimes completely neglected, but what I think is our modern environment is changing so fast. We changing around social media so fast, and it's generating so rapid changes in our life that sometimes we don't see the trends. And the academia is the key to provide these trends. So I think the cooperation between fact checkers and academia is the key. When academia can give the trends, analyzing the information, give the fact checkers what is important for society to check this time. And the fact checkers is important to provide data for academia for that. And providing the data is a key role for fact checkers in this role. Third one is media education. And what I think when I'm talking about the media education is media business model. Unfortunately, modern traditional media business model is failing. There's less money going in the media, and that need to be changed. And that's need to be think about in a global scale, how we should incorporate media and social media when they can generate more income for them. Because once we build up sustainable business model, we will have the better media. In Georgian case, we have the trouble. We need to utilize social media better for Georgian media. Second one is better resources for fact checking. Media education should provide well-equipped fact checkers, and that's improve the quality of the products of fact checkers. So that's a key. And the third one is media literacy in teaching in university. Some people may argue that this is also a drawback because you require to improve media literacy on systematic educational level. You need to teach media literacy in schools, you need to teach media literacy in universities. That is problematic. That is already well-established system when you need to intervene, and that is problematic. But I think that it will pay back the results. If we improve, starting from the educational system, and this is the need of the modern society. So, main question, why media literacy in Georgia? I'll say a few arguments for that one. First one, it's proactive. You create a better community, resilient community. This is the community which will be responsible for making the decision, not only one particular disinformation, but many types of different disinformation and the misinformation. They will be resilient. They will be process improved, which will create a better understanding in the community. That's why we need to be content creators, not only consumers. Second one is a human-centered solution. It is important individual level to improve our individual tools to deal with this kind of misinformation, disinformation, and understand how this actually spreading, how this actually happening, how they are manipulating to us. Third one is low cost and easily replicable. Yes, first interference is high cost. However, products generated by a media literacy approach gives you opportunity to replicate easily. And it moves from region to another region easily, while the resources are already created. So I think that's a key to reach the community. And third one is we have social media, which is critically increasing the number of consumers. We see the importance of social media is increasing in the community. So it's important to engage with social media in a way that supports the community life. So I think the media literacy could play the key role here. And the last one is long-lasting impacts. And here we have the research done by IREX, one of the biggest media literacy projects run almost all over the world. And I think the data talks by itself. We saw that even after the year and a half, 20% of people who participate in the training still was checking the facts, still was checking the sources. And we saw the crazy increase number, 97% in Jordan and Serbia, when the people's media literacy, starting from the training to ending with the training, was 97% increase of media literacy skills. That's all I wanted to talk to you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Giorgi, for reminding us about the threats that there exist in this information world, and also giving us some recommendations on how to be efficient with our good aspirations of countering it. Do we have any questions for Giorgi in the audience?
Thank you very much for such an insightful presentation. So, as we all know, we have been through a very unprecedented year with all this COVID-19 pandemic and all the consequences that we still bear, unfortunately. I would like to ask you what has been the role of media literacy in general in fighting the disinformation and fake news that have been spreading widespread, I guess, in Georgia maybe too, because in my home country, in Kazakhstan, it was a case, and it is unfortunately continues to be so. So I just want to know what's your take on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, unfortunately, COVID-19 affected not only one country or one particular disinformation, but everyone. Everyone is affected disinformation with COVID. And trust me, anti-vaxxers is not a problem only Kazakhstan's. It's a problem of the world. That's why if you go in WHO's website, you will see there's a disinformation, certainly like certain page for that one. That's a disinformation, and they trying to update all the time. In Georgian case, we see rising of disinformation not because of there was a like strong presence of anti-vaxxers. We saw rising of disinformation and anti-vaxxers because there was a like space for that one. And unfortunately, the actors, we did not manage to act rapidly and fill this gap. Because there's a demand of information. People want to know more about the vaccine. And people need to get information, how safe is it? And before we fill this gap, someone already did. As I show you like in the graph, we have a perfect storm in Georgia. We want more news in social media, and we don't have the media presenting there. We don't have any guidance there. That's why we get that people who are consuming in social media, we get, unfortunately, everything what was spreading in disinformation. Right now, we're working really hard. Georgian fact checkers are we had like 2 great fact checker organizations under our consortium who are working together with Facebook and to take down the anti-vaxxer campaign. And we are mapping and reporting probably daily like more than 10 posts. That's not enough. We know that one, and every day there is new disinformation, unfortunately. So that's a reality we live right now, unfortunately. I hope I answered.
Thank you very much for the presentation. So you mentioned an example on anti-vaccine campaigns, and it seems that you have been working on media literacy for a while. Were you also able to assess the impact of your work? For example, you improved the media literacy, and then what has changed? As far as I know, for maybe anti-vaccine campaign, maybe you already saw the impact, I don't know, but yeah. Some other examples that you assess the results of your work, yeah?
Yeah, perfect, thank you so much. Impact is a key area for any kind of project, and I truly believe that data is the key to improve quality of the products. So not my decision or someone else's decision, it's the data who tells consumer's choice and tells that is need to be done differently. What we see in my particular project right now, the consortium what we are running, we had approach on a different level. And what I can see right now before the evaluation of the project can say that we created really good tools. It is cheap tool to replicate. We give the tools for the regional CSOs, we give the tools for our international partners to use and to replicate. The people who've been trained for that particular tools, they are performing better in terms of disinformation market. But not because they are well equipped and completely aware about disinformation, rather than they are open asking questions. And we are engaging with them to make sure it's okay to ask the questions, to engage critically, even when it's something is well believed, well founded. So organizations which we have in the regional level, and right now I can tell you in Georgia right now, we are working in ethnic minority regions in Kemo-Kartli and Samtskhe-Javakheti, which are we have ethnic Azerbaijani, Georgian Azerbaijanis, and ethnic Georgian Armenians. And in really rural areas, when you go to the village which does not have even PowerPoint opportunity to present the PowerPoint, when we don't have the opportunity to show them Zoom platform because the internet is not really great connecting there. It's just not possible. We just only had 68%. We saw the results. People start to critically engage, and we see the campaigns when people generally with flyers start to go on in the streets and start to show the vaccine. It's not what you said yesterday. That is a statement from our national NSDC, Disease Control Center, Infection Disease Control Center. They try to mitigate this disinformation by the tools what they have. And we try to give them the better tools. And I think the tools what we created will be possible to use for more than 5 years now. The stability of these particular tools would be 5 years. So I believe that the impact of our project is not going to be now, that we're going to get the impact in 5 years' time. And if we manage to reach a wider audience, the impact will be greater. So I think that equipping them, making the critical understanding of the information, that was a key area for us, and that's we have achieved. Thank you.
Hi, Giorgi. Thank you for the presentation. It was very good. I have a question in terms of the measurement. On Tuesday, we got a presentation from one of the people from CRC on how they also utilize tools in order to check which communication campaign is having more effect through through like quantitative studies. Is there any type of quantitative or mixed methodology studies that you're trying to utilize to check if the tools that you're generating generate the impact that you're thinking of? And do you know if other organizations also trying to do media literacy are trying to do so, and which are the challenges that they're facing when trying to measure their impact?
Thank you so much. This is a great question, actually, and I think that like everyone working on the media literacy field right now thinking how to better measure the impact of this kind of projects. Because it's not only teaching, it's about the measuring the actual sustaining disinformation. Unfortunately, I can give you like my particular indicators, which is focused on more like qualitative rather than quantitative data. However, what we see in the recent years, starting from the IRIS bigger project, we see that like the measuring improving, measuring moving forward. We cannot grasp the disinformation market because, first thing, we don't have access to the data. The data is like a little bit limited. We said that like the Facebook is like one of the biggest generator of disinformation in Georgia, but we don't have access on Facebook API. Facebook does not generate this data, does not give us access to the data. So we can see the like the better way would be that let's check the like Georgian information system and check the like how many of these posts was disinformation or like more viral posts. Let's see the like today there was a like 10 viral posts or million viral posts. Let's check how many of them were disinformation. Because we have fact checkers who are working for that. We have fact checkers who are checking this information, but we don't have access how many of them were like disinformation. Unfortunately, I would put a like more stress on platforms today and the importance of engaging with platforms and platform generating information being accessible for researchers. Unfortunately, later news does not really give us that much. Facebook does not really participate in these kind of events, while Twitter is trying. And I hope that like we will see the like better improvement in cooperation from social platforms. I hope that I answered that one. Thank you.
Hi, Giorgi. Juba from ISFED, your colleague. Do you think that digital inclusion is tied with media literacy? In digital inclusion, I mean digital skills to navigate in infrastructure in social media, for instance. And if you think so, which digital skills should we seek to improve in our target audience in media literacy projects?
Okay, thank you so much. Happy to see ISFED here. That's great. You're doing a great project, and your reports are like quite useful for like further research when we talk about social media. Media literacy is a broader term. When we talk about the like skills, what we want to see in the media literacy, I can set the like I can break the like few things. Media literacy is information literacy. It's about the like news literacy. It's digital literacy. But I would say the like the key area here is like content creation. I think that like we should focus more about the like how many Georgians or like any regions where we are talking about, how many of them actually creating the content and what do they need to create the content? Because I truly believe that like if the community engage in an authentic way together and discussing the problems, that was all our generation, all the time. That's how the people established what was right and what was wrong. They discuss, they engage, and they don't let the like dominate the like facts, fake facts, which is not stands truth, which does stands in the reality. So I think that like, if we continue working in the media literacy, we should focus on content creation. We should equip them creating the like content which is modern, which is well received by audience and well spread, such as a like visualization, the video content, but also encourage them that like, this is not something you should do specially for that particular post. It should be like authentic, it should be like less effort, and it should be cheap. Unfortunately, that's like the key area for, in my understanding, for that. Thank you.
My name is Aidai. I'm from Kyrgyzstan. Thanks for your presentation. I've got a question regarding the, in case of Georgia, is there a representation of governmental agencies on social media? Like, for instance, does Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Ministry of Health have own active Facebook or Instagram accounts where can they provide the proof, fact-checked information regarding coronavirus, vaccines, and so on?
Thank you so much. We have quite diverse audience there. Thank you so much for asking this question. Let me answer this question from the perspective of Georgian way of communication is a little bit different than like you see maybe in Kyrgyzstan. We like human-based approach. We like when I see the person behind who is selling the certain kind of products. We want to get in touch with them. We want to see that. We want to have the interaction with them. Same happens with the government. Government sees the people in place on social media, and it's most of the time are treated as official communication. You'll be surprised if you send the message to the government now using the social media, you'll get answer from that as an official email. Same way. It's not official communication, but it's treated as official communication. That does not mean that we provide answer about the COVID-19 or you get all the answers you need from the government, but it will get the point that you'll get answer. But when it comes to the government involvement about fighting the disinformation, unfortunately we don't have that one, or fortunately we don't have that one. That's also part of the discussion. I don't think that social media should be regulated by the government, and I don't see this is a positive side to get government involved in social media regulation by themselves. I think the government involving with regulating the platforms, that's a great idea. Let's talk about how the Georgia government could involve with Facebook and regulate how much Facebook is generating from Georgia, from Georgian media content, and think about how this money could be reinvested in Georgian media. That would be great. That would be really great. I don't see that's happening. Second one is strategic communication. When the government is involving with the people, then strategic communication is part of our NATO integration policy, and that's a part of the reforms. And we do really great when it comes to strategic communication, improving the strategic communication in every institution of Georgia. Right now, every ministry has a strategic communication unit, and we're trying to bring under the one umbrella of Prime Minister's strategic communication. And the people are presented, 3.5 million, are presented on Facebook. So if you're a strategic communication, you're thinking how to reach your news to the people, that's what you do. You go to the social media. And that's why we treat social media a little bit more serious than just official communication by email. I hope I answered the question. Yeah, thank you.
Do we have any other questions in the audience?
Giorgi, I'm sorry, but I wanted to ask you another question. You seem to place a lot of importance on the fact that we have lowering trust in media and our general patterns in terms of media trust and media access. One of the things that we realized from the NDI polls and from the Caucasus barometer that we run was that media is also very polarized. Almost half of almost half of the population trusts Itimedi. Then the rest of the population is a little bit distributed between the opposition, what is often called opposition channels, but it's only 3. So we also see that there is a lot of polarization in the media. So do you also account for this? And when accounting for this, is there any suggestions that you have to do on the media in terms of how is it that the viewership is distributing this trust on the news channels?
Thank you so much, Lucas. I will start from the idea. I think it was 2017 or 18 when the Truth Decoy, one of the big project on this particular field, started by RAND Corporation, and they posted the whole system of how Truth Decoy is working. And one of the key area when we see the creating the this perfect storm is polarization. The media is polarized, and we don't have the resources to the daily agenda of the community is stretched, so we don't manage to focus on certain areas, which is key area, such as if there's a political battle, we don't have the energy to focus on vaccination. I see the point of that. I see the importance of the media. However, this is not only generated by the media. There's a huge importance of platforms. There's a huge importance of the government, which is the main generator of the agenda of the political lives. The political agenda of Georgia is not only generated by media. It is generated by the government. It is generated by the businesses. It is generated by different civil actors. And so I see I can't say how we can decrease the polarization, but I can say assure this is bad. This is really bad. This was the last research done by CRRC and NDI together. We saw people were positive. This was the first time when they split between where the country was going in the right way or wrong. And quite in the same time, it was almost 50-50. There was people, perfect polarization. You said where the country goes on right side or on opposing side, on positive or negative side. And I see any kind of approach when we have the choice where the black and white, it's not right. There's always a space. So I think the effort should come from the government, because that's a political agenda is created by the government. Second one is platforms should think more about the, like how we spread information on the platforms, and sometimes you see the like the news which increasing polarization rather than decreasing polarization. And third one is like the media, which is generating more income if the news splitting the polarization. This is unfortunately proved by data that if you splitting the more polarization, you will generate more data. People with the negative comments will also like is engagement, which platforms like capitalize the money for that. So I think that like that is a problem. I don't have a solution, unfortunately. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you, Giorgi, for the talk and the engaging Q&A. I hope you'll be around with us later if somebody still has remaining questions to address to you personally. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.